You have a biological debt that must be paid. If you stop sleeping for 7 days, your body will systematically dismantle your sanity, your organs, and your reality. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a fundamental requirement for the maintenance of your biological machinery. Most people think they can push through with enough caffeine or willpower. They are wrong. Science has tracked the devastating decline of the human body through prolonged sleep deprivation, and the results are nothing short of catastrophic. Let's look at the timeline. Day 1 begins like a bad hangover. You have been awake for 24 hours. Your brain has been running continuously, fueling your neurons with glucose. By this point, your cognitive impairment is equivalent to a blood alcohol concentration of 0.10%. That is legally drunk in every state in the US. Your hand-eye coordination drops. Your reaction time slows down. If you get behind the wheel of a car, you are a lethal hazard to everyone on the road. Your body is also struggling to maintain homeostasis. Your stress hormone levels, specifically cortisol, spike to compensate for your fatigue. Your blood pressure rises. Your heart rate becomes erratic. You might feel a strange, hyper-alert buzz, but it is a facade. It is your sympathetic nervous system screaming for relief. Enter day 2. This is the 48-hour mark. Your body begins to process glucose differently. Your insulin sensitivity drops. Your cells stop absorbing sugar properly, leading to high levels of glucose circulating in your bloodstream. Effectively, your body is mimicking the early stages of type 2 diabetes. Your immune system is also beginning to falter. Natural killer cells, the specialized white blood cells that hunt down viruses and tumor cells, start to plummet in count. A study from the University of Chicago showed that just one night of sleep deprivation can reduce your natural killer cell activity by nearly 30%. By day 2, that number is significantly worse. You are now wide open to infection. But the most disturbing change on day 2 is the phenomenon of microsleeps. Your brain is so desperate for rest that it starts to force shutdowns. These are brief, involuntary moments of sleep that last anywhere from half a second to 10 seconds. You might be standing in a room, eyes open, and for a fleeting moment, your brain enters a state of total detachment. You are awake, but you are not there. If you are operating heavy machinery, those 10 seconds are the difference between life and death. By day 3, the psychological walls begin to crumble. This is the 72-hour mark. Research conducted in the 1960s by Peter Tripp, a radio DJ who stayed awake for 201 hours for charity, serves as a grim case study. By day 3, Tripp began experiencing vivid hallucinations. He saw spiders in his shoes. He saw flames coming out of drawers. He started to believe that people around him were strangers plotting against him. Your brain is essentially dreaming while you are awake. Because you haven't entered the REM cycle, the stage of sleep where you process emotions and consolidate memories, the brain starts leaking those dream states into your waking hours. You cannot distinguish between reality and the fabrications of an exhausted mind. Your executive function is destroyed. You cannot plan, you cannot reason, and you cannot focus. The physical decay accelerates. Your core body temperature drops. Your hands and feet might start to shake, a condition known as tremors. Your eyes become bloodshot because the tiny blood vessels in the sclera are inflamed. Your face looks gray. Your speech becomes slurred, often described as sounding like a person who has consumed too much alcohol. You might experience sensory processing errors, where sounds seem too loud or colors seem distorted. Day 4 and 5 take you into the realm of true madness. Your internal clock, or circadian rhythm, is completely shattered. Your body no longer knows if it is day or night. It stops regulating the release of melatonin and cortisol correctly. At this point, the paranoia becomes profound. The Swedish Armed Forces conducted studies on sleep deprivation in soldiers, and they found that after 120 hours of wakefulness, subjects showed signs of severe cognitive dysfunction. They were prone to thought blocking, where they would simply stop speaking in the middle of a sentence because they couldn't remember what they were saying. They became hostile, suspicious, and aggressive. Your brain's ability to clear out metabolic waste products is failing. During deep sleep, the glymphatic system flushes out toxic proteins like beta amyloid from your brain. Without this nightly cleaning cycle, these proteins begin to accumulate in the spaces between your neurons. This is the same type of debris associated with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. You are effectively poisoning your own brain. By day 6, you are in a state of clinical delirium. You have completely lost the ability to perform basic self-care. Your memory is essentially non-existent. You are living in a series of disjointed moments, unable to connect the past to the present. Your perception of time has warped. 5 minutes feels like an hour, or an hour feels like a blink. The physical exhaustion is absolute. Your muscles ache constantly because they have not had the opportunity to repair the micro tears that occur through daily movement. Your heart is under immense strain. Studies have shown that prolonged sleep deprivation can cause cardiac arrhythmias and may even lead to heart failure in extreme cases. And finally, day 7. After 168 hours of no sleep, the human body is in a state of systemic collapse. You are experiencing what doctors call total sleep deprivation. In 1989, a study by Alan Rechtschaffen at the University of Chicago used rats to test the ultimate limit of sleep deprivation. The rats were placed on a moving disc over water. If they slept, the disc turned, and they would fall into the water and be forced to wake up. Every single rat died within 11 to 32 days. They didn't die because of some mysterious infection. They died because their bodies simply quit. They developed massive skin lesions, their immune systems failed, and their metabolic systems crashed. When researchers looked at the organs of these sleep-deprived subjects, they found massive inflammation throughout the body. Their bodies had basically turned on themselves, launching an immune attack on their own tissues. If you were to reach 7 days of no sleep, you would be a ghost of your former self. You would be hallucinating intensely, perhaps completely unresponsive to the world around you. You would likely be unable to stand due to total physical weakness. Your heart would be struggling to maintain a steady rhythm, and your brain would be firing signals randomly, creating a chaotic internal landscape of terror and confusion. The most frightening part is that you cannot simply catch up instantly. The damage to your cognitive pathways and the inflammation of your organs takes weeks or months to heal. The body is an incredibly resilient machine, but it has hard limits. Sleep is the single most important physiological process you perform every day. It is the period where you are rewritten, repaired, and recentered. We live in a culture that fetishizes sleeplessness. We praise the hustle, the all-nighter, and the grind. We view sleep as a necessary evil or a waste of time. We are wrong. Sleep is not a pause in your life. Sleep is the foundation upon which your life is built. Without it, the house collapses. You are a biological entity dictated by cycles of light, dark, and rest. When you ignore these rhythms, you aren't just tired, you are actively dismantling your own humanity. The next time you decide to push through the fatigue, consider what you are actually risking. You are trading your mental clarity, your physical longevity, and your very sanity for a few extra hours of productivity. It is a bargain you will never be able to afford. The body always keeps score, and the debt of sleep is a bill that must be paid in full, with interest, or the machine stops entirely.